Judge Phil Sorrells, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
So you are now in a runoff, and I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that, and why do you believe you are the better Republican in this case for the job?
Well, we're excited to be in the runoff. We finished in March, 1st of March, with a little over 40% of the vote, which was the highest vote getter in the primary with 3 candidates. I think it's obvious the choice going into this runoff is about experience. I have 30 years of experience down at the courthouse. My opponent has 0. So it's a clear choice.
And let me ask you about that, because here, you've been on the bench, you've been a judge. Your opponent has been a state representative, he's a lawyer. And so why do you think your experience is best suited for the DA's job, in this case?
Well, my 30 years of experience, I've dedicated my entire career to working at the courthouse, working in criminal law. My opponent, I think, and you said he has a law license, but I think he's a banker. I don't even think he practices law. So I've been practicing law in the criminal arena for over 30 years. And that makes me just qualified to a great extent, greater than he is.
And so let me ask you about endorsements. You have the endorsement of former President Trump, former Governor Rick Perry. He has Senator Ted Cruz, Sheriff Wayburn. What do you think voters should make of these endorsements?
I think the endorsement of President Trump, we were excited to get that and grateful for President Trump to see that in our campaign that it has the values that conservative Republicans are looking for. We want to back the police, we want to enforce immigration, and we want to make sure that we're going to keep this community safe. And the President Trump has seen that, and I believe that's why he endorsed me. That's what he told me on the phone when he called me and told me about the endorsement. Election integrity was another thing that we want to make sure that our elections are pure and true, because if you can't trust your elections, you can't trust your elected officials. So we're excited about those endorsements.
And I wanted to ask you about the issues. What do you think are the most important issues facing the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office, and how will you deal with them?
Well, the number one job of the District Attorney is to keep the community safe. And how are we going to do that? We've gone through COVID restrictions for a little over a year down at the courthouse to where nobody was being held accountable for their actions, or virtually nobody. I mean, we couldn't have anybody in the courthouse. So, we weren't processing or going through trials with the criminals, but they didn't get the memo. They continued to commit crimes. So there's a huge backlog at the courthouse. People that are out on bail, on too low bail in many circumstances, and they're just out free, roaming our streets, still free to commit more crime. And you've got to have a plan. I have a plan to how we're going to get the court system back to work and making sure that our citizens are safe and that criminals are being held accountable.
And you brought up another point as far as judges assigning bail that's too low, bond, etc. Recently, the DA came out and criticized some of the judges for for allowing the defendants to post a bond that was too low. Where are you on that issue? Because you've been behind the bench. So where are you on the fact that her criticism of judges, and she also received criticism for making those statements?
Sure, I think that it's a line that we have to always investigate. I want to be in the courtroom, or one of my staff in the courtroom when bail is being set, so that we can be the voice of the people saying that here's what we believe that the bail should be set. So we're going to be at that hearing, not at a later date when somebody comes out that they've reoffended. We want to be there at the beginning so that this circumstance doesn't happen. We want to be there whether it be in the middle of the night. We do 24-hour magistration right now. We want to be there being a voice for the people, saying that these bonds need to be raised because of the conduct that this person and the danger that they pose to our community.
And right now, what is the situation? So somebody faces a judge after their arrest. So that's not being discussed right now. Does that judge have a record, a criminal history of the individual who's brought in?
Oftentimes, when somebody's arrested, they go to jail and they're going to wind up in front of a magistrate. The magistrate, not an actual elected official, but a magistrate, and they're doing it 24 hours a day. They're having hearings, and it's usually just the defendant and the judge are there making this determination. I want to be part of that process.
And so you would like to have a DA
Yes.
there when that person is brought in?
When they're arraigned, yes.
Okay, for the first time?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like to bring up?
I think that, like I said, the number one job of the district attorney is to keep the community safe. I've spent my entire career, 30 years, doing just that. I want to be a part of a bigger process, have a bigger influence, and that's why I'm running for district attorney. I think that the choice is clear, that experience matters, that when you go to hire a lawyer, you're not looking for somebody who it would be their first time to step into those shoes. You want someone with experience. When you need somebody, when you're in need of a lawyer, that's what you're looking for, and that's exactly what you're doing here in Tarrant County. You're hiring a lawyer.
Bill Sorrells, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.